Learning how to control your recoil is essential if you want to be able to land your shots consistently and progress in Apex Legends. Now, as you climb the ranked ladder, you'll notice that your enemies miss less and less, maximizing every opportunity to deal damage. And if you want to compete with these higher tier players, aka sweats, you're just going to have to do the same. So with that being said, let's get started with our first technique. Recoil countering. Most first-person shooters have some degree of weapon recoil. This is meant to simulate the kickback that a gun delivers when firing. In Apex Legends, these recoil patterns are 100% predictable and do not change, as each gun has its own predetermined recoil pattern. The only caveat being magazine size, which can extend the recoil pattern, but even these extended patterns do not change. What this means is that if we can learn the exact recoil pattern of a gun, we can consistently counter it and control it, converting the spray pattern into a single beam, leading to much more accurate shots. But enough yapping, let's get into the firing range. Alright, so here we are in the firing range. Now, we could start with any weapon to practice recoil countering, but for the sake of the lesson, we're going to start with the R99. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to make sure that the impact marks of your shots show up on this wall. That's how we're going to be tracking the recoil. So to do that, you just press Escape, Settings, Video, scroll down to impact marks and make sure they're on high. Once you've got that done, you want to zoom in ADS on the wall, on any wall, and just hold down the trigger. Don't move your mouse at all. Don't strafe, don't turn, don't try to control the recoil, just let it rip. And as you can see, the pattern is exactly the same over and over and over. So this is the pattern of the R99 recoil. It's a little squiggly. It goes up with a small semicircle to the left and then a small semicircle to the right. Now, to counter that, you want to do the exact opposite. So instead of doing a semicircle to the left upwards, you want to do a semicircle to the right downwards, followed by a semicircle to the left downwards. And by doing this, you will transform this pattern into this pattern. Now, as you can see, by countering the recoil based on its pattern, you get the spread a lot more concise, a lot tighter. It'll never be perfect, obviously, but it is a great way to control some of the recoil coming out of any gun. If you were to just pull straight down, it's not terrible either. Sometimes it works, it looks like there, it works pretty well. Let's try to back it up. Yeah, but the further you get, you'll just see more discrepancies in your shooting. So that's the R9's recoil, and just to give you some comparison, I also have an L-Star here, one of my favorite weapons to use on Rampart, and its recoil pattern is a lot different than the R9. So if you look closely, you can kind of see this like semicircle to the left and then just straight up. So to counter that, we're going to go a semicircle down to the right and then straight down. As you can see, I've got a lot more practice with this weapon, and as a result, my beam is pretty tight. Now, you can also practice at different ranges, so I would recommend getting your R9 back out and hitting targets at various ranges, trying to keep the cursor as tight as you can to the center. And of course, it's difficult without attachments, but I think for the sake of practice, that's actually a good thing. So when you have your attachments on, it'll be a breeze. If you found this video helpful, give a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content like this, and see you in the next lesson.